Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Let Us Talk podcast show, the show that is rated R for real and not PG for playing games. I am one of your hosts, the Boss Lady.
And I'm the D.O.C.
Well, we would love for you all to continue to join us for our weekly conversations about life, marriage, and everything else. Get to know us, get to love us. Before we get in our show, definitely got to shout out to our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Cigar Junkie as well as CJS Educational Services. Please continue to check out our Cigar Junkie merchandise and apparel at cigarjunkies.com. Now, let's go ahead and kind of jump into our show. We serving up this 3-course meal. But before we serve it up, anything you want to start off with?
Oh, let's just jump right on into it.
All right, appetizer, hot topic. So, this first thing we want to talk about is kind of like a follow-up to something we had talked about on a previous show in regards to this lady, Tessa Ressa, and her show, Who the Fuck Did I Marry, on TikTok. And at that time, Mr. D.O.C. over here was saying that it was a hoax, that it was fake, or whatever he said. We will have to do a replay on that one, but I'm just saying she got a actual deal from CAA. She has a company representing her now. So what are your thoughts on this now that she actually got somebody actually legitimizing what she's doing, I guess?
Yeah, so for folks who don't know, CAA is a agency that manages talent. So they manage actors, athletes, all different type of celebrities. And so what they're doing now, she signed up to be part of their management. So they can lead anything from book deals to movie deals, possibly to speaking tours. And so what I was getting at was that I still believe it, and no one has been able to challenge me that it was a hoax, and it was nothing but a ploy to sell a fiction story that really resonated with a lot of this sort of sentiment that's been going on social media, anti-men sort of sentiment. And so it fed into that, and so it just proved my point that she was doing it for clout, to go viral, and then hopefully get paid. But I ain't mad at the hustle. I love it.
Now,
I actually love the fact of it. I love it.
Okay, now when you say she did it for clout, she did it for this, do you honestly think that when she was sitting in her car and sitting where she was sitting and doing her hair and all this, when she was actually recording and stuff, do you honestly think that she was doing this with the whole thing of getting a deal, getting millions of dollars? Do you truly think that was her whole thing, her mindset?
Yeah,
okay.
I believe so. I mean, the fact that she sat and did 52 10-minute episodes, yes, that was deliberate and planned. So, like I said, and when you look at it, it added up to a 10-hour episode that would be broadcast on any of the streaming sites. And so, I'm not mad at the hustle. I thought it was a brilliant idea. I was just tripped at just so how people just fall into a lot of the fake news and believe a lot of shit, and so they would just immediately believe that it's a nigga that just was just evil. Like, come on, he was like the fucking super villain of niggas. So I was like, that shit didn't even make sense to me. I mean, this nigga's bogus, but he wasn't that bogus.
It was a lot of people hating her husband or ex-husband and didn't even know who he really was. Just based
like I said, they
stories.
could not corroborate none of the facts in the story. So for me, I thought it was made up.
I don't know. I'm still on the fence if it's made up or not. I don't know, but I tell you this, I do see.
Where's the proof?
Well, they say this guy.
They say, where is he?
It's been videos posted.
That nigga's an actor too.
Saying that he is the supposed.
So you think you telling me a nigga
these things are not true and things of that nature? Now, whether he getting paid to do that, I have no clue.
That's a bunch of bullshit. Because why would a nigga
never believes anything?
No, why would a nigga disclose who he was? She described him as the super villain of niggas. Why would he publicly go out to refute that? Because he has nothing to do but lose with that. Even if he publicly goes out and refutes it and says, unless he has just like all the receipts, which he don't. So it's a bunch of bullshit. I think he's a paid actor too.
Okay, well, speaking of acting, this goes into our next topic. The Oscars. The Oscars came on yesterday, and if I'm not mistaken, I think when I looked at the TV, I think the event started at the actual event didn't even start till the evening, but they started having shows as early as 10 in the morning about everything with the Oscars. Do do you even care about the Oscars? Do anybody care about the Oscars? I guess that is the question. So when you watch this video, I want you to comment. Do you care about the Oscars? Do you watch the Oscars anymore?
Man, I didn't waste 1 minute on that bullshit. I binge watched The Gentleman. That's what I did. So I didn't even waste my time with that bullshit. I could care less who wins movie of the year.
Yeah, because it's usually never the movie you want to win.
I do know what movie won, but because I read the newspaper, so I know I've seen all those movies. So, but I mean that shit don't mean nothing. I really don't put a lot of stock into those type of awards and getting accolades from that. That really doesn't really resonate with me. So I could care less. I didn't even waste my time watching that shit. I don't really even pay attention to the Grammys and none of that shit either. So.
Now, Grammys, I pay a little bit more attention to, but
it's a bunch of bullshit that, especially with black folks and black culture, they find some reason why they need to be validated by white folks. As long as they give you their money, that's the only validation you need. So I don't give a fuck about an award.
So if you were an artist or if you were an actor,
but I get
you wouldn't care.
No. I get why they do. In a flip side, because it's money that comes with it. Because when you say you want a Grammy, you say you want an Oscar. Now going forward, you're guaranteed a certain type of bag when you're about to perform, when you make an album. I get that, but at the same time, there's a whole bunch of trap that comes along with that too as well.
That's true.
But no, I seen people like Kendrick have won the award. Jay-Z has won the award. Beyonce has won the award.
Okay.
So, but me personally, I don't think that I would believe that a BET award or NAACP award would have just as much weight as a Grammy award to me. So I don't, like I said, I don't put all that stock into those awards and things like that.
Well, I say this, going back, when I was little, I would say when I was younger, you did watch the Grammys, you did watch the Oscars because you watched it for the red carpet. You watched it for the celebrity, the star factor. You wanted to see who showed up in the bogus outfit, who showed up looking nice. That was what I watched it for more so when I was a kid with my mom and things of that nature.
I never wanted to emulate none of them niggas.
Nobody said anything about emulation. I did not one time say I wanted to emulate. We just said that we like to watch it and see what people wear because a lot of people who make money do not know how to dress. So that's what we watched it for. Now, I do want to plug one person, somebody who I started watching in a series called High Fidelity. She was also in Rustin and This Is Us. And she is a black actress, and her name is Divine Joy Randolph. She is one of my favorite actors that's up and coming. So I do want to give a shout out to that because she did win an award for Best Supporting Actress. So
what she won for again?
She won for her role in what was that, Headliners or?
You don't even know what she won.
I forgot what she won for, but I know the movies that she
don't even know what she won. Man, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Headlockers.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
But I like her as an actress, so I'm shouting out her craft. Anyway, next thing, speaking of craft, okay, we got to talk about this. BMF. So everybody been waiting on BMF to come out, me included. I'm not gonna lie. I like sometimes my shows. So it's been coming out season 3. But before we even get that, y'all heard Big Meech getting out early.
Yeah, he should be out.
You're going to be trying to go to any of your parties, you know?
I just remember hanging out and being in Atlanta during the Big Meech days, the era. I just distinctively remember that, recall that. I remember going down to Atlanta, seeing the billboards and flyers. I remember being in the 112 Club 112, being in Magic City when them niggas was in there, buying out the bar for everybody in there. I remember one of the niggas stayed in the complex that one of my homies stayed in. They had a condo up in there, so you would see a lot of that different stuff. But always, I never heard nothing but great things about it and the things that they did. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, he getting out. But the show, the show.
Okay, so before we get there,
what you mean?
Before we get there, you say the show is it starting off good to you?
That's what I was getting to. The show is nowhere near as good as his Kanan series that just ended, 50 Cent's Kanan series. So I think the writing is kind of like it's not as good as the Kanan series. Because for one, I really could care less about the love or relationship between Big Meech's mom and his dad. I mean, unless that shit got something to explain. Well, unless that shit got. I'm trying to figure out how did these dudes become which was essentially the last major. Hold on, the last major crime lords to ever exist, but the dad and mom ain't got nothing to do with that.
I think they're showing part of the reason why they even hustle more and hustle harder because of the what they were seeing at home, the lack of the father being able to provide and things of that nature. I think it's just giving you insight. Now, do I think we need to dedicate at least half the episode to their relationship? No, but I think it is interesting to see the character of the daddy and to see where maybe they may have gotten some from, possibly.
Man, they could have did more developing the music background that they have and how they got it, and then that led them to eventually getting into music. Man, I don't know. And then it's just a whole bunch of love stories all scattered around up in here instead of really getting into the meat of how these niggas from Detroit was able to go down to Atlanta and set up probably the largest distribution ring that we've seen in probably the last time we'll see something like that.
Now, I do think, I put it to you this way. Some of the stuff I think is unnecessary. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm just going to ask this question. And I don't know if I was the only person who was thinking this. But I was just like, what was the purpose of the whole stud scene? The whole strap-on scene, showing this lady be sexual with the girl. I mean, unless somebody got some insight on what they had to do with anything. What did that have to do with anything? Did you have any, what did that have to do with anything?
I mean, I don't even know what kind of question.
Was it because the girl was the dude, the old drug girl? Was that they showing how she was crossing him by messing with her?
I mean, I really don't have much to say. I think that's like I was getting at. I just said it earlier. There's a lot of unnecessary shit in the
That's
thing.
unnecessary. So, I agree with him on that. That part is unnecessary.
It's just unnecessary.
I don't think we need to. But I do like the new characters.
We clearly knew that she was a lesbian just from the way she acted and things. So
but we need to see the scene.
Yeah, I mean that was unnecessary, but it is what it is. I guess they're pandering to certain audiences.
But they do that with all the shows. I mean, all the shows end up having something like that with that in there. So hey, it is what it is. I do like Neo's little character. I think he kind of slick. Do like they added him 2 Chainz. He still seems like 2 Chainz to me, so still seem the same. Just he got an afro wig.
2 Chainz playing 2 Chainz.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it.
With
a bad afro wig. So I don't know about that. But you know what? I hope it picks up. I'm not gonna lie. I hope we pick up with the story. I'm glad this whole Terry and Markeisha thing is over with, but I hope it picks up. Now speaking of, because BMF took place in ATL, a lot of stripping. Another place known for stripping, Florida. So, I'm gonna let him explain. I'm gonna let the D.O.C. explain what the next hot topic is about, because he the one who read it.
I am an expert on certain things. I consider myself to be an assologist. So
Did you just say assologist, y'all?
I've had my fair share of.
What's an assologist?
Well, I know what I can spot a fake ass, a real ass, the best ass, the tightest ass from a mile away. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Florida has passed a bill that you have to be 21 now in order to dance in their strip clubs. And the only thing I was just shocked by was that I thought you already had to be 21 to dance in their strip clubs because they were serving alcohol in the strip clubs. So I always thought that that's kind of interesting that they would ever even get around that law. But I think it's a good thing that they're raising the age. And part of it is, I guess they say something to do with human trafficking. I'm all against, human trafficking and things like that. So I think it's good that they should raise the age up to 21. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be honest. I too, I'm going to be honest. I actually did think that you actually had to be at least 20 or 21.
Because you got to be 21 in Georgia.
I didn't know that you had to be 21.
Oh, yeah, that's the law. Oh, yeah. It's been like that for a while.
I did not know. Now, what about these dancers who say they've been dancing since they was 14?
Hold on, that's the other thing in Georgia. You have to be licensed, insurance, and everything in Georgia.
So this is the real thing.
It's a whole regulated industry in Georgia because it's so big. So it's a very regulated industry, and so you can't just show up
and think you're gonna dance.
And think you're gonna know. You can't do that. Those bitches is doing that and selling pussy. So that's a whole different thing. Yeah.
Like I said, what about these dancers who said they've been dancing since they was 14? I mean, do you really think Ray? Well, one of the chicks in the article said that
she didn't say in the article. That was in the comments.
Oh, that she had been dancing since she was 14.
And there's no way to verify that. And she should be ashamed if she said that.
Yeah, because that was my whole point.
They should be locked up because that's obviously against the law. But
I hope not.
You sometimes, that's why I'm saying I don't believe everything you see on the internet. She could have just been trolling niggas and trying to go viral. But I don't get caught. Once you can't believe everything you see. So, but I'm not saying that didn't happen. But if that did, I mean, you can obviously tell somebody that's 14 versus 21.
That's true.
If you can't, you're fucking you're fucking stupid.
I think it's good that they are raising it from 18 to 21 because I think at 18 sometimes you think you know what you may want to do, but you really don't want that lifestyle. Because when you get into that lifestyle, it's a lot that comes with it. We done watched a lot of different shows, documentaries about dancers and it's not just that.
It's just that.
It ain't just that. I'm talking about from my standpoint. It's a lot more that comes with that than just dancing.
I'm not getting into all of that because who's to say a 21-year-old no more than an 18-year-old? I'm just saying that it's because of the liquor. And, legally, you have to be 21 to drink. So if you have to be 21 to drink, and that's the other thing is that if she's 18 in the club and there's drinking, there's probably underage drinking now going on. So that, for me, if I was a business owner, that would put me in a liability. So I would want the law to be 21 anyway.
Well, I'll say it is. A lot of them girls going to end up just getting fake IDs that say they're 21 when they're not 21.
I guess.
Same thing they've been doing. All right. This leads us to our last appetizer sort of the day, which is been hearing a lot of talk about this and been hearing a lot of different sides of this story. So Miss Dreya, Michelle, and Jalen Green. For those of you all who don't know, Dreya is 39 and Jalen is 22. And she is pregnant. She recently, for Women's International Month, did a photo shoot where she kind of put herself on a pedestal for just being a woman, being pregnant, all of the above. And it was a pretty picture. She did look nice on the picture, but a lot of negative comments came about the age difference and the fact that she's pregnant by this dude. So I'm not gonna lie, I want to kick this off with hearing what the D.O.C. got to say because I want to hear the male's point of view about this situation. Do you think anything is wrong with this situation with her being so much older than him? What are your thoughts on this?
I just think that it's a lot to unwrap with it. I mean, first, let's just start off with the fact that Dreya herself has described herself as being a hoe. So she said it. So I'm just letting y'all know. So when y'all get mad at me, was referring her to as a hoe. That's what she referred to herself as, and she says that at some point your whoreness expires, it wears off, and so she said she's at the point in life where her whoreness has worn off. So she used to be a hoe, but she's not a hoe now. So let's start with that. The other thing for folks who don't know, they might not even know who Jalen Green is. So let me give you a little bit of background. He's a guy, NBA, I think he's been in the league maybe 2 years, 3 years, and he's plays on the Portland Trail Blazers. Pretty good. So he's having a pretty good, decent year. And so this guy's 22, she's 39. And so it's a lot of things to wrap up in there. First off, as a guy who has a son that's 22, I would have an issue with him dating a woman that old. Because I'm like, dude, there's a lot of other women who haven't been ran through the way she has. Because remember, she's a hoe. She's a paid high price hoe. All right? The other thing, she has a fucking son older than this nigga. So her son gonna have a brother that's 25 plus years younger than him by a nigga that's younger than him.
That sounds so confusing.
That shit don't even make sense. This bitch is crazy. And so what she did was she tried to secure the bag for life. And so she finally caught up. And so this with this lens too, because I want to speak to a lot of the parents out there and some of the athletes that are aspiring to be athletes. You're going to have this. I got a young cousin that's getting ready to play D1 ball. These women are coming out here. This shit was calculated. Like, she saw these women. The Amber Rose was just with C.J. Stroud a couple weeks ago. So these are now, and that's the other thing. These are some badass women. Now, they may be in their late 30s. I'm not saying they not bad as hell. Black women are fucking bad as hell. You got 50, 60-year-old. Look at Angela Bassett. Just phenomenal. So, I get it. And what's happened is the nigga Jalen Green probably been jacking off to her since she was like 12 or 13 or something. Now he got the money and the means to get with her. And I get it. This nigga, though, got lost in the pussy. So instead of doing what he need to do, it's just like with Zion with the porn star. A girl he been jacking off to since he was in his teenage years. Now he got the mean shit. I can fly ass out. She get flued out. But that was all calculated. All calculated. And so and so what I would tell him is that you didn't come in the league for this type of shit. She's built for this. She's lived off of this for the past 15, 20 years with this bullshit. And so now you're caught up in this. And who's to say? I don't know. I hope it doesn't affect the young man's game. But if I was his parent, I'd be really disappointed that he got hoodwinked and bamboozled like that. But I ain't mad at Dreya. She doing what she got to do, I guess. And, unfortunately, it's a lot of women out here that's doing that sort of thing. And so, but me, I'm not going to say all women are like that. It's just a certain type of women. And this was calculated. And he fell for it. And so I just want to tell a lot of the young men out there, be wary of that, man. They coming from everywhere, and these some bad motherfuckers out here. Y'all see the shit on Instagram and shit like that? I mean, that shit is crazy. So, and they do anything. So, but you got to be able to control that shit, man, so you can continue to focus on what it is that put you in that position, and that's to be a hooper. But what are your thoughts on it?
So, I will tell you this, okay? My thoughts are, if I'm 39, I'm going to fuck on a 22-year-old, but I'm not having a baby with a 22-year-old. Just for the simple fact that, especially not a 22-year-old basketball player, because I know that at 22, you are in the prime of your career, which means that your basketball commitment is going to take you away from me.
So you saying as a 39-year-old woman,
I have sex with him? Yeah. Why? I mean, if I'm 39, I'm single. I don't have any commitment to any other grown man, and if some
I get it. They would consider those.
I mean, you a young guy, you find me attractive, and I'm older, and you find me being older attractive. So, yeah, I may give you play if you playing your cards right. I'm not saying I'm making a habit. This is habitual, but I'm just saying that I didn't see nothing wrong with her having sex with him. So, I didn't have a problem
So, what
with
if it was a 22-year-old Amazon worker?
If that's
would he still get the pussy?
Nah, you gotta have.
Okay. So it's levels to this shit. Okay.
It's levels. We ain't letting every young nigga.
I just wanted to see
if you old. It's levels. So it's just like I'm not letting the little young stoner who just sitting in his mama living room getting high. I'm not letting him hit it. But if you 22, you an athlete, you got millions, zeros behind your name.
Okay, we get it.
Okay, so I didn't have a problem with that, but what I had a problem with her was getting pregnant, because I thought it was selfish for her to impose the pregnancy on this 22-year-old kid. When I'm just being honest, at 22, this nigga is not mature. As somebody put on my Facebook page, his frontal lobe ain't even developed in his brain yet as a 22-year-old. I think about my son, and I would have a problem if some 39, 40-year-old woman came walking in this house with my son talking about, oh, I just love your son, I'm going to have a baby. I would have a huge issue with that.
She doesn't want to be with him forever.
And that's the thing, and he don't want to be with her forever, but now he's tied to Dreya for the next at least 18 years. And is that fair to him? Is that fair to him? I think at the end of the day, is that fair to him? And then my question would be,
is. He knowingly had sex
he
with
did.
her.
He nutted in her and all that.
And he cream pied her.
But
so
my whole thing, we ain't going with this cream pie thing again. But my other thing is the fact that where was his mama? Where are his people telling him, leave this chick alone? Don't nut in this chick. Wear a condom. Plan B. Where were all these people that were supposed to be telling him that? Now, you asked the question before you started talking, and you said, well, you mentioned that Dreya said something about her wholeness or whoreness, and does it have an expiration date? I would think all whores have an expiration date. I would think.
And so this is the thing.
I'm just being honest. I would think.
This is the beautiful thing. That's why I actually have no problem with Dreya. Because she told the guy from the get-go what she was on. Yeah. So this is the thing. She's at 39. She knows that what got her to where she's at was her physicality, her beauty. She knows that is a waning, depreciating asset. That she ain't going to get no return on it the way that she was, say, 10, 15 years ago. So she knows that the only way to secure that bag and to stay financially secure is getting pregnant by a professional athlete, preferably a basketball player. Because those guys have much bigger contracts, much larger max deals, that make more money, and the most important thing is that they get guaranteed money. But all NBA players are guaranteed their money.
But she could have went off. She could have went after a rapper, NFL player. She could even went after somebody 25 and older. I just told
you that she went with a basketball player.
I know, because they got the more contract, but I'm just still saying out loud, she still could have went for somebody else. She didn't have to necessarily go for this little 22-year-old kid. That's just my thing. I
don't understand what you mean by that.
What?
Why she didn't have? She knew it. She purposely went after that.
Oh, I know she purposely. I'm just saying, I just don't think it's right that she purposely went after this kid. That's all I'm saying. I'm just...
He's not a kid. He's a grown fucking man.
That's true. But I still look at a 22-year-old as a kid.
But you just said if you was a 39-year-old, you'll fuck this nigga.
He's still a kid.
That shit don't even make sense. That shit don't even make sense, man. You see what I'm saying? They just saying that shit don't even make sense. I'm gonna tell you, if it was a 22-year-old girl and I was 39, I wouldn't fuck with her. You know why? I got nieces and nephews, not nephews, but I got nieces and shit that age, kids that age. So I wouldn't even want a girl that young. She would have to be at least 30 to 35 for me to fuck around with her. So I don't even want a 22-year-old. So I don't even want the fucking headache.
Well, I guess some people look at you may look at it as a headache.
That don't mean they don't look good and all that, but I'm talking about a relationship.
I can mold them, and maybe that's how she looking at it. She can mold them.
To each his own. That's just not with me.
He young. Well, one of the things that you said was that it causes a lot of stress, and I definitely think that if you are an older person dealing with a younger person, vice versa, you're dealing with, I think it will add to the stress level. So part of our entree, what I kind of wanted to pause for a second and just kind of talk about was this thing called life and what to do. And I just wanted to I wanted to share something with you all to just kind of put things into perspectives about 3 things: stress, depression, and anxiety. And so I looked at a study, and yeah, I did say study, and I know I'm gonna sound like a nerd for a second, but I did look at a study. And here you go,
because I don't buy all that shit.
It's from the National Institute of Health. So this is not TMZ. This is not a double XL. No, this is legitimate research from the National Institute of Health, and it broke down different age groups all the way from age 18 all the way to like 55, and they broke down what stress, depression, and anxiety look like. And of course, for all groups, stress was the highest out of all of them, and then depression, and then anxiety. But it led to the question of, what can we do as parents? What can we do as workers? What can we do? And I'm just going to throw it out there as Black people as well. What can we do to handle the stress factors in life when, if you look at the numbers, you see that so many people are dying, getting sick, staying ill, not being themselves, committing suicide, attempting. It's just so many different things that's happening because of stress, depression, anxiety. So what are those things that we could throw out there that folks can do to kind of combat those things? And
I mean, for one, was that study broken down by race?
now, they didn't go as far as breaking it down in race, but I would assume that if they did break it down in race, obviously blacks will be higher.
Because
you know
the people pay me. They want me to get a real. You know,
so, I didn't do a sociology experiment.
I got a master's degree in sociology.
I have a bachelor's in sociology. So, it was just quick facts to just throw out there.
I got a master's degree.
It did not break down by race, y'all.
So this is what So what was your question again?
So the question is, what are the things out there that families, people, parents, workers, all of the above, black people, what are some of the things that we can do to combat this whole thing of everyday stress leading to the stress, depression, anxiety that black people experience probably at a higher percentage than any other race?
Well, I think, for one, is find a way to get away from, they going to get mad at me, from white folks. If you can find a way to get away from that shit and the racism and the white supremacy that you have to deal with on a daily fucking basis, do you understand the stress and anxiety that exists for black folks as they navigate and go on corporate America on a daily fucking basis for 8 to 10 fucking hours? And I always talk to my homies that used to be in the street life or in the street life. One thing that's different from them that people, even me, have to deal with is they don't have to deal with white supremacy on a daily basis. They don't have to deal with microaggressions in the workplace and things like that. Only time that they may even deal with white folks is if there's something revolving with law enforcement. But if they doing it right, most of the time they have the superior dominant status or position because the person getting the dough from them is generally a white motherfucker. I'm just keeping it real, especially where I live at. It ain't enough black crackheads or dope dealers to make these niggas millionaires. All these people are coming from around the area making these guys millionaires. So don't get it twisted. So if you can find a way to navigate and remove yourself from daily, that'll kill half your motherfucking stress. If a nigga can get paid what they supposed to get paid, if a nigga don't have to go through this shit, what they supposed to go through with the work, they'll be cool.
Double hard.
So don't get me started about stress in the workplace and that shit and that bullshit. So, but anyway, on how to deal with that is you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself at home, making sure that your home life is straight. And what I mean by that is making sure you're eating right, you get some type of exercise. I'm not gonna even lie. I don't be working out, running and shit like that, lifting weights. I walk. I walk maybe 2 to 3 miles, 3 to 4 times out the week. So I do maybe 6 to 8 miles a week walking, either on my treadmill or outside. But you have to get your self-care. That's one of the things. What do you think?
Well, I definitely think there's 2 things you need to do. And before we get into like the business behind what you need to do, I agree with you. You have to find a way to eliminate stress. And I will say this. Yes, there is a lot of stress when you work certain jobs, you work corporate America. Yes, as a black woman, I do feel like sometimes I have to work triple hard for the same positions. And even if I get the interview, get the job offer, I'm still not going to get paid what I'm truly, truly worth. So that part is very stressful. And if I could eliminate that part, I would be better off. But in the part of dealing with that, I think that people should look at 2 things, and that's personal care and self-care. And I think that if you develop or you understand what personal and self-care is, I think that can help you deal with your stress, possible depression, and I think possible anxiety. And before we go any further, I just wanted to pause real quick to just really explain the difference between the 2, because I was one of those people that honestly really said that personal care and self-care was the same thing. And honestly, it's really not. In the way I like to think of personal care, your personal care should be routine, should be something that you do all the time. It's possibly should be deemed necessary that you do this. It is part of a a routine, things like your toiletries, your hygiene, brushing your teeth. All those different things go under self-care. You taking your shower, your soaps and your lotions you put on. But even things like your hair appointments, you go to the barbershop, all that still part of under personal care. The soaps you use, the lotions, the face cream, all those things are part of personal care that can help you combat stress. And I don't know why you look at me like, because I'm gonna pause for a second before I get into self-care. Because you looked at me like, why you look at me like that? Because that is part of personal care. Don't you have a personal care routine?
Yeah, I get that, but it was like I don't know. It was just weird how like what you was saying. I don't know. It just
personal care. Cause see, Jimmy don't think that Zen and yoga and all those type of things are necessary, and that's part of self-care, which is another way that you can also combat stress. Those rejuvenating things, those calming things, those things that make you pause and have a moment to breathe. Those are your massages. And I don't know why he rolling his eyes, because he gets a massage every month.
For one, I didn't roll my eyes.
Self-care routine.
I didn't roll my eyes.
He gets a massage every month. And you know what? And I think that is great that he gets a massage every month, because that helps combat whatever stress that he deals with.
Hold on, but let me talk about the self-care. I'm not disputing that people. I'm just saying it's almost like motherfuckers gotta be reminded to wash their ass and get their hair cut.
They do.
But
they do. When people don't do that, you've seen your friends, you've seen relatives, and when you see them, you like, dang, they looking pretty rough. They ain't combed their hair.
But I never once think that it's because a nigga is
stressed or depressed, or
it could be because the nigga just busy.
Busy to wash?
Or it could be because the nigga you said cut hair, washing their ass and cutting.
Right, I said all of that.
I don't know no niggas that don't wash their ass on a regular. I don't know niggas that don't. So I don't know.
That washing
all my niggas wash their ass on the regular. So
I hope everybody wash their ass.
Most of the niggas I know get their hair cut on the regular,
and that's part of their personal care. And those things also help keep your stress down. And when you don't tend to those things, it's an indication that your stress levels may be a little bit different, because you're not tending to your personal care, is what I'm saying.
I get that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it just sounded weird how you were saying it. Now, some niggas some shit I don't do. Like, some niggas do manicures and pedicures.
Okay, now what's wrong with that? Because that
I don't do that shit. You can do whatever you want. I don't do that shit.
Ain't nothing wrong with man fingers looking manicured.
I mean, I keep my shit clean.
You do. Your hands look nice. I would tell you your nails look nice. You wouldn't touch them if your hands were nasty. But
I don't use my feet. My feet don't be out. Well, I need my feet, and I need my feet.
Give me talk about that.
So I mean, I'm just saying.
So again, I was just saying that self-care. I think people don't do self-care enough.
I get massages, like I said. I believe I get it, but I do that more so for a physical thing, more so than mental.
But it also helps with the stress. It also helps with keeping your depression lower. It does help with that.
I've never went to went to massage to get a mental thing. I'm going in
You're
there.
You're going there to relax. You're your body, but you
I'm
also
going in there because
mental clarity when you get a massage.
Well, maybe you do. I don't go in there to get all of that.
When you lay on the table, you don't relax and free your mind and just like get the massage. And
I lay there, relax, and she rubs my body part.
Aaliyah, we're gonna have to have you on the show, Aaliyah, because you have to have it should be cleansing, and it should be like you get to relax, and mentally you just get to
teach. When I go and get a massage, I have areas that she needs to work on because I'm getting older and those things need treatment. It could be my knees. It could be my calf. This time it was my shoulders and it was my back.
And none of this is stress related.
And so that's not stress. No, it wasn't. It was because I had been traveling, going from the Super Bowl to the All-Star. I had only slept in my bed for 5 days out of the month. That's why I was partying. I was up. That's why my shit was hurting. And I wasn't fucking depressed.
I'm not saying that. But the whole point, what I wanted to bring up to y'all on a serious note, there are things called stress. There are things called depression and anxiety that I think that people should
But everybody
be able
can't
to
afford a
before they go off.
massage. But people can't afford a massage.
And that's true. And I'm not saying that you have to go get a massage. I'm not saying that you have to go to a sauna, that you have to go somewhere. You can do you can literally do some of these things, but you can work out by yourself. You can write in a journal. You can take a trip. You can walk. You can go outside, get fresh air. It's things that you can do for free. All I'm saying is that I am noticing that you see an increase with these things, and people don't know how to handle those different things, which leads to other things down the line.
Well, at least rate my stress is getting more money. And then I can buy all that bullshit that you talking about. So let me go get some more money. And then I can buy all that, pay for the acupuncture, pay for that masseuse, pay for this fucking salt bath, all that shit you talking about. I need more money to do this. So that's what relieves my stress, is getting more money, man.
Should more Black families have these conversations about these things? Like if you have kids and things like that, how do you incorporate talking about getting annual physicals and getting your affairs in order and having these type of discussions with your family? How do you see people being able to
How do you see it? How do you think?
I think that as the woman of the household, I think that you have to unfortunately make that your priority. With things like the annual physicals, making sure that and it's not just about my kids. I stay on him about making sure that he goes to the doctor if there's something ailing. I think even when it comes to getting your affairs in order, I think that is just a conversation you have to have. I think the other day I had just brought up to Jimmy, and I was just like, hey, I think we should get living wills. That's what I said. I said, hey, I think we should get living wills put in place. And believe it or not,
Go ahead.
Believe it or not, I think that is something that people should talk about within their household. It is a stressful topic, but I do think that health insurance, health care, living wills, I think
so
people
it's
should
not
have
just
those
about,
discussions.
Of course, most people, I should tell you, you obviously, like I said last episode, you should have health insurance.
Yeah.
There should be no reason why you don't have life insurance. You need to have that. But I think nowadays, because life is getting so complex with people, you need to go a step further. And I don't even got this, so it's something that I'm gonna get, and I would recommend folks is to get some sort of living will. So, unfortunately, in the case something happens to you, people know exactly what to do. It could be something as simple as who you want to get your clothes to, who you want to get your jewelry to. Like I said, I have a comic book collection, and I used to collect baseball cards and things like that. Who do you give those things to? You may collect weapons, guns. Who do you give those things to?
True.
So it's
what
not
about
just
POA?
It's just not the money thing, but what do you mean by POA?
What are your thoughts on people getting
people don't know
power?
what POA
So POA is a power of attorney. It is a legal document that you put in place over someone's either financial, their estate, or either their health care.
But that's generally for something who's older, maybe in a health.
But I mean, just like listing in your living will who you want to be that person.
Oh yeah, of course.
Your power of attorney.
I'm just saying, whatever goes in the living will, you would put that in there. So if that's one of the things that goes in a living will, you would put that in there. I mean, it could be something as simple as what color suit you want to be buried in. How you want your services. Who you don't want at your services. I've actually seen people ban certain niggas from attending their shit. So you got to honor those person's wishes.
Yeah.
So it could be that specific in your living will and things like that. Yeah. But those for niggas that got a little money, got something going on. But most niggas, they just said, fuck it. And they let you niggas figure it out. But at the minimum, get some fucking insurance.
Hey, man. On the low, that's why you laughing? Because wasn't that like
I didn't laugh.
Ain't that what happened with like Prince, Aretha Franklin, James Brown? Didn't all these people die with like no specific?
Mike had a will, so Michael Jackson had a will, but Aretha Franklin, Prince, they did not. I believe Luther Vandross. I'm not sure about him. Don't quote me, but I know for a fact Aretha Franklin and Prince did not have a will at all. They didn't have anything. I couldn't believe that.
And if you're watching this show, and if you are a person who do things like notary public, we help people with wills, all that. Reach out to us so we can get that information out to people as well. So as we get to the dessert of the show, I think we're just gonna pause for a second. I'm actually just gonna turn this over to the D.O.C. This portion of the show before we get out of here.
Yeah. So real quick, man, I just want to send a shout out and dedicate this episode to my man Terrence T Baby Williams. Unfortunately, he's a close friend of mine. He passed away on March 6th. And so nothing related to the streets, nothing like that. He had some health issues that he battled and unfortunately succumbed to those health issues. But I just want to send a shout out to my man. He was a great friend, great family man, stand-up guy. Always wanted to party and enjoy himself. Special shout out to TT, my goddaughter. That's his daughter he lost. In addition to his sons, TJ and Terrion, as well as his wife, Kira. But also his extended family, his step kids and other kids as well. Not other kids, but his step kids. And his grandmama, his brothers, Tub, Corey, and Dana, and his sister, and aunties, just everybody. So just everybody. TAB, shout out to TAB, shout out to the whole Edna family, because they lost a real one out there. And everybody know T Baby throughout Gary, throughout the hood. Everybody knows this guy. So it's gonna be, like I said, his house. His house where I would go to chill out and relax and watch the game. So he's definitely going to be a void in my life, and he's definitely going to be missed. But that's why I got on this hoodie as in remembrance of my man T Baby, and that's it, man. I just want to give once again a lot of love and shout out to him and his family, and extend my condolences, like I said, to his family and extended family, and to all of TAB and Edna. They really lost a real one. They really did.
Yes. And I keep it simple. I think the D.O.C. said pretty much he was a stand-up guy. He will be missed. And yes, condolences goes out to his wife and kids and his family. And all the friends out there, as we are still, I believe, processing his death, and still, I think, coming to the realization that he has passed. So, all right, again,
I just want to send a shout out to folks and just tell folks to make sure that you follow up, get your physicals, do what you need to do to live a healthy lifestyle. Other than that, because it's all about health and wealth, baby, and I love you.
Yep. With that being said, please go watch and like and subscribe to the Let's Podcast show with the Boss Lady and the D.O.C. We are on all platforms. And yeah, check out our Instagram page, our TikTok page, and yeah.
I love you, and we'll see you at the next episode.
That's
Peace.
Right. Peace.